Hello everyone, hello YouTube. Okay, so today this is kind of like the self-learning number 2, and I did a little more preparation in that I know what I'm going to talk about and I have some notes. That's all I have. I am the worst student and this is why. But anyways, also I have my notes, like actual notes this time. So let me just say real quick what we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to explain Ethereum 2.0. And then we are going to review an article just as an exercise. An article that's, I wouldn't say against NFTs, but a little bit. And yeah, just as an exercise of like presenting my points to argue why we should be for NFTs rather than against. Now for Ethereum 2.0 and NFTs, I have notes. I'm gonna try not to use them. So yeah, let's go. Take a drink. All right, so what is Ethereum 2.0? Ethereum 2.0 is when Ethereum 1.0, so which is the Ethereum network blockchain right now, is going to switch to Ethereum 2.0. So there are three main aspects. I'm going to talk about 3. First, we're going to move from a proof of work system, proof of work consensus, to a proof of stake consensus. So right now, Ethereum 2.0 is a proof of work. Proof of work is simply miners mine blocks to kind of create the new blocks. So that's through computational power that's going to sort of solve a cryptographic puzzle to then create the new block, to add the new block to the, add the new block to the blockchain. Proof of stake is a little different in that we are going to have stakers stake Ethereum, Ether in that case, which will unlock validators. Now, if you only unlock a validator if you stake 32 Ether minimum. And validators will mint or forge new blocks, basically. Now, those validators are randomly selected. There's an election process that's pretty random to choose who's going to mint the new block. Which means that the more you stake, the more validators you unlock, the more validators you unlock, the more chances you have as being elected to mint the new block, to add the new block to the blockchain. Okay. Now, why move from proof of work to proof of stake? There's a couple of reasons. First, it will increase the transactions per second. Right now, I don't know the numbers, but I think I know Bitcoin is at 10-15. One transaction takes 10 to 15 minutes, or that might be on Ethereum. But we could be looking at tens of thousands and later down the line, maybe millions of transactions per second, which is fucking insane. Right now, the Visa has 2,000 transactions per second. And yeah, no, I think Ethereum 1.0 has 10 to 15 transactions per second right now. I think that's what it said. Second benefit is environmental issues, which is one of the reasons they're moving to proof of stake. Because proof of work requires computational power, and the more computational power you have, the easier it is to add a new block. Proof of stake wouldn't require computational power, you just need to stake your money, your Ether, which kind of resolves the whole computational power required. And so the electricity required, which is what's really worrisome for the environment. Now, let me look at my notes to see what else I can add. Oh yes, no, okay, we're gonna have sound here, and then I'm about to start my recorder here. Oh well. Okay, one of the reasons it's going to increase transactions per second is right now. So let's take the example of Bitcoin to explain proof of work and why it's so slow to add a new block. Sorry. So imagine I am a node and this is a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain. Now imagine this is a node and this is his copy of the blockchain, right? It's the same textbook. Right now, a proof of work to add a new block, I am the node that's going to add a new block. So to validate a transaction, let's say person A wants to send 1 Bitcoin to person B. So I'm going to look through my Bitcoin copy, through my Bitcoin blockchain copy. I'm going to make sure that person A has 1 Bitcoin that's transferable to person B. Okay, so I'm going to look through the whole blockchain. Okay, yes, I can validate that. But before I validate that, I'm going to make sure that my copy is the right copy of the blockchain, which means I will go check his copy of the blockchain, go look through it, and so on and so on and so on, which is why it's really slow. Another way to think about it is with a math homework. So you're done with your homework and you need it to be checked by a teacher. Where right now with proof of work, you would need your homework to be checked by every teacher in the school, right? Ethereum is going to, well, that's a good transition. Ethereum is going to implement shard chains. That's a whole different topic. But shard chains. Ethereum is going to introduce shard chains, which means that instead of having your homework checked by every teacher in the school, it's only going to be checked by Math 101 teachers, or Math 201 teachers, or Math 301, 401, or maybe just the French teachers. So it's going to separate the blockchain into multiple blockchains. I hope I said that right. I think I will add, because I forgot to do it before, I will add a disclaimer that I am barely a novice in this, and I'm just using this as an example, as an exercise to review my notes, really. Okay, and so those shard chains will be managed by the beacon chain, who will be the one that manages all the shard chains. Now let me look through my notes and see if I have anything else to add. And so yeah, whenever I was talking about the different textbooks, that was for the introduction of shard chains and not proof of stake. Proof of stake is just stakers unlock validators, validators mint new blocks. The validators are randomly elected. Okay, so in here I didn't have any more points. Beacon chain manages the consensus. So it manages the proof of stake. I'm not going to introduce, I just wanted to say how Ethereum works. I don't want to talk about the phases, but there's phase 0, which introduces, no, I'm just doing it, introduces the proof of stake consensus. Phase 1 is going to introduce the shard chains. Phase 2 is going to be the state and execution. And phase 3 is just further upgrades, further scalability. One thing that's important to know is that there's going to be a merge, meaning that the current Ethereum blockchain will merge with the Ethereum 2.0 chain, the beacon chain, and become one of the 64 shard chains. So right now your Ether tokens will work the same. They won't disappear. They'll just be in the new blockchain. And so yeah, shard chains only responsible for data on their chain and not all blockchain, which is why you increase the transactions per second, just as how I represented it with the textbook and the math analogies. And hopefully they were right. I know the math analogy is right because I took it from, and I will show the sources, I took it from maybe Decrypt. And the textbook, I came up with it on my own, which I'm pretty proud of. So Ethereum 2.0, I said everything there's to know. Shard chains. Sorry for the noise, it was right next to the microphone. So I think this is going to be a quick one. I would probably more and more start preparing my self-learning presentations or whatever this is. Because right now I'm in shard chains. We've talked a lot more about it, but I'm personally not comfortable enough to kind of go off of it from my head. I don't know everything on top of my head. That would be absolutely insane in just 4 weeks of learning about crypto. So one of the good things about Ethereum 2.0 and shard chains and proof of stake will be reducing the fees and the gas. Fees is how you incentivize miners to work right now in the proof of work, and it will still be the same in the proof of stake, but it will be a lot less. Now why? Have I talked about gas? No, I haven't talked about gas. Okay, so gas. What is gas? Sorry. I'll just try to do this by head. Gas you pay goes to the miners. So gas fees as well? They're basically the fees, yes? Yeah. That's where I'm not sure. Are fees gas or gas fees? Are they completely separate? Right now I have them in the same spot and I see no fees anywhere. Okay. So gas is just the hours of labor. So it's about how much code do you have. The more code you have, the more gas you're going to pay. Because the bigger your data is, which takes more work for miners to mine a new block, to add that block, to add the transaction. So gas in blockchain works the same way as it would in your car. Let's say you want to take your car from the gas station to your home. You would fill your car with gas. Now, if you fill it full enough, you get to go home. And if you have some left, well, you can still use it. Which, I'm just gonna keep going with the gas thing. Now, if you don't have enough gas to go home, so you filled it only halfway, and you only filled like 1/4, and you only get to halfway to your house. Which means you have to go back to the gas station and add more gas. And you're not refunded the gas you just used because you used it. So gas in Ethereum works the same way. You can, is it overbid? I think it's overbid. You can overpay gas. So if, say, you pay 29,000, and I think gas is paid in Gwei. If you pay 29,000 gas, and your transaction gets done and they only use 15,000 of gas, you will be refunded the 14,000 left. However, if for the same transaction you only pay 10,000 of gas, your transaction will not be done. You will not be refunded because you used the gas. Works the same as gas in a car. Now, how will that be reduced? Because first of all, again, with the short chains, a node does not have to go through the whole blockchain to validate a transaction. Doesn't have to go through his copy of the blockchain, another node's copy of the blockchain, every copy of the blockchains to then say, yes, this is valid. It will only go through his chain, his short chain, and say, yes, this is valid. And you have 64 of them that run in parallel. So there won't be as much congestion, which reduces the gas fees. I hope I said that right. God. Okay. So I think I've said just about everything. And yeah, so one very important thing is that Ethereum 2.0 solves the blockchain triangle trilemma, which says that you have decentralization, security, and scalability. And right now the blockchain with proof of work, you can only have it decentralized and with security, or you can only have decentralization and scalability, or just scalability and security. And that proof of stake and short chains solves it. Short chains are scalable. Okay, let's move on to the. Let me move you real quick. Let's move on to the article. Disclaimer: I am not trying to shit on the writer, whose name is. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the article. There it is. Okay, I'm not trying to shit on Christina Criddle. She especially says that she did not do any research upon. Let me fucking restart this shit and introduce the article. Pink NFT was a crypto. A pink NFT cat was a crypto nightmare. So again, disclaimer: I am not trying to shit on Christina Criddle. I'm only using this article to argue the other points for NFTs as an exercise for me to better understand NFTs and the crypto world in general. She also clearly mentions at the end of the article, I think, I've already read the article 2-3 times also, and she does mention that she did not do any research upon buying the NFT cat. I think she also tried to buy the NFT cat during the big NFT, boom, where fees and gas were fucking insane. The prices of, NFTs were insane, way overpriced. It just was not a good time to buy NFTs. I personally don't have NFTs. I haven't done any of I don't even have cryptos because I'm goddamn broke. I know as soon as I get my job out of college, I will buy cryptocurrencies and NFTs after having done more research. But yeah, so let's get into the article. Again, I'm only going to present the counter arguments as an exercise for myself. Let's go. So the hype surrounding NFTs, non-fungible tokens, has been hard to ignore. Who wouldn't be intrigued? So she says it was a nightmare, far too much money, time, stress, wasted on, well, not very much. Sorry. Because an NFT doesn't have a physical representation like a painting, it exists only as a digital asset. So all I was paying for was a record of ownership, basically to have my number displayed on a website next to a cartoon cat. I mean, yeah, that's not wrong. You could do much more with NFTs. I think there's I forgot the name of the company, but where if you buy the NFT token, you also get sent a sock, a pair of socks. And this is from like, it's a really good pair of socks, all right? But you have multiple things like this. So I think she only talks about the art aspect of NFTs, where, like, man, I can't give two shits about art. Okay. But with NFTs, what I really love and the projects I like right now is the one that have a function. It has utility. So an NFT as a ticket, as a concert ticket, as a sports ticket, which, you know, VFriends has done. I think a convention in New York has done it. The ticket to enter the convention was an NFT. Things like that, and not just art because it's art. Like, I personally don't give a shit, you know, about art, but a lot of people do, and they really enjoy. I mean, damn, dude, like, I love having seen, like, seeing Twitter's profile pictures of some collectors, and they have the NFT they own, and you can easily see who owns what. Just type the address, kind of copy and paste here and there and here and there. Anyways, let's get back to it. So I was paying for as a record of ownership, basically to have my number displayed on the website next to a cartoon cat. Sure. So she used OpenSea, and it was supposed to be a light-hearted gift for a colleague. The website hosts a range of content. Then she decided to buy a CryptoKitty. The average price for a CryptoKitty is $175. That's insane, man. How much is it now? Let's see. When did she do this? She wrote this 3 days ago. But when did she try to buy it? Let's check OpenSea. Did I write that wrong? CryptoKitty. No, that's. Come on. I want to see some CryptoKitties. None. Oh, one important thing, because I've seen this with VFriends happening. Make sure you check whenever you put an NFT for sale and you put it for Ether. Anyone can respond with any coin that's accepted by OpenSea. And what some fuckers try to do is that they try to trick you into thinking they've bid for Ether when it's just for USDC, which is $4 rather than right now like $8,000. So just make sure that just go over it. It's gonna say Ether, W Ether, or it's gonna say, let's try to find one. VFriends. Gift go at last. No, it's Ether. They've kind of stopped. That's too bad. I mean, it's good, but I wanted to show you an example. Well, it's alright, but yeah, they can bid with USDC, and amateurs, some people who haven't done enough research, fall for it. And so instead of selling their NFT for $8,000, they've sold it for $4, which is not good. Alright, back to the article. So they have different attributes, of course. Volatile currency. NFTs are sold in cryptocurrency. My purchase was in Ether, stored on the Ethereum blockchain. Good. Similar to Bitcoin, it is a highly volatile currency and relies on computers to verify transactions. Sure. This process, called mining, uses huge amounts of energy, often from fossil fuels. Okay. Kim was on sale for 0.006 ETH, which at the time was worth about $13. How did she pay $175? Okay. So she used MetaMask. Good. I transferred the minimum amount, £30, and a gas fee required for every ETH transaction to pay the miners would keep the network running. That's right. That's what I just talked about. It's based on the game theory. It incentivizes miners to do their work well. It's basically a punishment and reward, right? It makes actors work for the best interest. It's in their best interest to follow the rules. And you know, if they do follow the rules, they're rewarded in Ether in that case. And if they don't, well, proof of work, there's not much punishment, but with proof of stake, you would be punished and you would be slashed of your Ether. A certain amount, depending. Required for every ETH transaction to pay the miners who keep the network running. It is similar to tipping a waiter. Sure. I mean, just think of gas fees as the hours of labor. There's someone working for you, you're supposed to pay them. Depending on how many transactions are being processed on the Ethereum blockchain and how many miners are available, the cost of gas can rise and fall. Yeah? Depending on how many transactions and how many miners are available. Yeah. The higher your price, the faster your transaction goes through. Yeah. Because miners are going to prioritize the higher fees so they get paid more. And from the start, what she should have done is just wait. Like, especially when Cardano with proof of stake, Ethereum 2.0 with proof of stake. I think Algorand has the same proof of stake. Elrond, that's different. They have proof of history, if I'm not wrong. But all of that, the gas fees are just, they're not going to disappear, but pretty fucking close to it. Then it was left waiting in the Ether for the sale to be approved. Yeah. Like I said, it's 10 to 15 transactions per second. So at the time where NFTs boomed, the network was congested. Which brings me to a good analogy. I keep leaving the article, but brings me to an analogy. Right now, the blockchain is like, think of it as a main highway. Okay? A main highway can get congested during traffic time. There's traffic. Okay? You're barely moving. Shard chains that will be brought by Ethereum 2.0. Think of shard chains as multiple small roads that you use when the highway is congested. There's traffic. But instead of small roads, it's also highways, and you just have multiple ones, and at the end, they can all come back together. While the value of my ETH shot up and down, I considered spending more money to speed up the transaction. 3 days later, yeah. The whole experience sucked all the fun out of my fluffy pink friend, and if I wanted to sell Kim, it would cost me. Yeah, same thing, gas fees and all. And so here she does say, I should have done more research into all the extra charges involved in ETH, but it was just meant to be a whimsical joke present. Unless you're prepared to spend a lot of money and time learning the market, it is hard to imagine making money from NFTs. At the present, that's true. Most people that don't learn anything lose money. The ones that have learned and have been learning for the past couple years are probably making money. But I think that's going to change. You know, there's already a project like Ultra, which is a streaming site, just like Stream, is trying to make it so that you wouldn't even know that there were NFTs or that it's on the blockchain. They're trying to make that simple. And again, with proof of stake, short chains, and roll-offs and the whole thing, that is, fees are just going to be normal. You won't have as much congestion, the fees aren't going to be as high, they're barely going to exist. Countless users have complained in online forums about transactions getting stuck after demand and high gas prices clogging up the network. Yeah. But this is when you should do your research. You should know about gas fees. The reason it's stuck is because you didn't pay enough gas. The Ethereum network is literally not even good enough for cat pictures, said David Gerard, author. Yeah, I mean, David Gerard is basically someone that's pretty much against blockchain. Not as surprised to see him in this article. And I think he's against blockchain. I read some stuff here and there. I think that Ethereum has been trying to fix the issues for years. Yeah, they were developing, that's why Ethereum 2.0 is coming. Somebody pays a higher gas fee than you at an NFT auction, you could lose your money if the transaction is approved first. So I don't know how that goes. If someone overbids you, as long as you haven't used the gas necessary to mint the NFT or to do the transaction, you're not going to lose your money. You're not going to lose that fee, the gas fee. And I'm pretty sure that once the auction is done and it's yours, you're paying the gas fee at that moment, which nobody can take it away from you. The auction is done. So you don't lose your money if the transaction is approved first, do you? Anyway. The digital asset can be deleted from the internet. Yeah, that's because it was sold as an NFT, so the owner is the only one. Having Charlie bit my finger. The website which displays your wallet number on the blockchain could go offline. Which displays your wallet number. She's talking about MetaMask going offline. Because that's it, you still have your NFT, you still have your Ether. I still have to look more into... I have no counterpoints on any of these. I know they're wrong, but apparently I can't prove how. But your wallet number, so I'm guessing she's talking about the public address. If that... And she's talking about MetaMask going offline. So I don't know what they have for that. But your Ether is technically not lost if MetaMask goes offline. But she's talking about on the blockchain. I don't know what she's trying to say here. It is often hard to tell if the person selling the NFT owns the copyright. Usually you know, actually. Again, the blockchain is not anonymous, it's pseudonymous. And you can usually see, I mean, look, if I go on Etherscan, and I will search up Vitalik Buterin, so I know it's just VB, but sure, you know. So there's Vitalik Buterin wallet for Ether, and you can see he has 1,366 Ether, which is a value of 3 million. I'm confused. 3 million, and you can see all the transaction that has been done here. and then just inform yourself for now on who is the owner of the copyright. But again, she's just talking about the art, which again, I couldn't give two shits about. I'm looking at more like gaming in the gaming industry, so I talked about Ultra, but this goes off chain. I played Block Party something. I really forgot the name. But NFT that has utility. Buying a receipt. Oh, that's gonna be fun. NFTs are just a new form of magic beans that crypto fanatics can sell for money, but all you're buying is a receipt. You're buying ownership. And again, that's just for the art. They're just talking about the art here. If we were to go for, say, VFriends, because that's the one I have in mind, you're buying the art and you're buying what's behind it. So you're buying a 3-year access to his new conference VCon. Some of them are one-on-one with him, or one-on-one dinner, lunch, FaceTime, mentorship. There's all that. Here, if it's just the art, then yes, sometimes you are going to be scammed, but just like you would with actual art in the physical world. I mean, Mona Lisa, somebody could redo it to perfection. So someone could make an excellent piece of art. And I know there's one thing like that, a scammer like that, who was alive during World War II, and he scammed the Germans. He scammed the whole art world by recreating to the perfection art from way older, and he got paid millions, and everybody got scammed. So what you can do with NFTs, you can do it with in the physical world. So you're buying a receipt, but you're also buying technically the art, the work, just like in the physical world. Several experts warned me that the obscure and complex technology is used as a cover to exploit people who don't understand it. Artists have also complained about the fees involved in creating NFTs, as gas is also used to approve bids and transfer the art, but that will soon be gone. Again, not completely gone, but almost non-existent. Said they lost $200 in fees after selling an NFT for $1. Could some sites be playing off the recent publicity and just trying to make a dime off the little guy through fees? Sites do not control the fees. The blockchain does. Yeah. And I would much rather have code control the fees than a centralized server like goddamn Xfinity, and they always add fees for no goddamn reason. So where I had the most fun is reading some comments on her Twitter. So again, she did say, and I'm pretty sure I didn't show any counter argument for this. Because it's not written as a I'm gonna shit on NFTs. It's written as a here's my experience. And obviously, since she didn't do any research, her experience sucked. She did during the boom of NFTs. Oh yeah, just not good. Let's see some comments. There's a lot of backers for Ethereum, of course. David Gerard. Hey, it's been 12 years and crypto is still unusable by humans, which is not true. It is completely usable. There's a lot of dApps, useful dApps that are coming, that have started to appear. Cardano just made a deal with the Ethiopian government. There are insurances, dApps being created and already properly tested. I talked about Ultra. Right now I'm using Brave browser, which is usable. Those are crypto tokens, but usable, more than usable. And then it is very early. Bitcoin is the first generation of the blockchain. Its only usefulness is just as a cryptocurrency. So just exchanging currency. Ethereum, which was created in 2014, so 7 years ago only, and came out in 2015, so only 6 years ago, is the second generation, and Ethereum 2.0 is the third generation with Cardano and Elrond and Algorand and the likes. And those are going to be more than usable. So I know they talk about comparing crypto to internet, which took years. It wasn't just magically appeared in the 90s. It took years. And the only one who used the internet is the one who researched it. So yeah. I'm just going to stop here. Hopefully I have some good bits and pieces here and there. So yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to do. Review the article and talk about Ethereum 2.0. Done. Hopefully I didn't cough too much. This is why I'm drinking. Yeah. Okay, so again, I was a novice. I am a novice. Barely a novice. I only started to learn about the crypto world for the past barely 4 weeks. Which means I'm learning about 5 hours a day. Which is a lot of learning, which is why sometimes it's kind of jumbled up and all. So don't listen to this video for educational purposes. I'm more posting it as a progress so that I can see in 5 years how much I've accomplished, how much learning I did, and how much more learning I would have to do in the future. I will include the sources of where I learned Ethereum 2.0, about the proof of stake, proof of work, if anyone wants to dive deeper into those, which I do recommend, especially if you want to get into the crypto world. Do your own research. I will include, obviously, the article, just if you want to read it. It's an experience just like anyone else's. Some people are going to have great experiences, some are not, just like with anything. I'm sure me, as someone who plays soccer, I would have a great experience playing soccer anyway, because I've learned how to play soccer. Somebody that didn't learn to play soccer, say my sister, and I take her to a game and we play, she's not going to have a great experience playing a soccer game. So it's the same with blockchains. It's the same with anything. So with that said, I will include the sources, all of them, and I will end it here. A plus.